12 months from now, someone will look at you and hesitate. Not because they doubt you, because they do not recognize you. Reinvention does not require a new name, a new city, or a dramatic announcement. It requires a new internal decree sustained long enough to become visible. And 12 disciplined months are sufficient to alter your identity in the eyes of the world. Yet most men attempt to change in a weekend. They feel inspired on Sunday and exhausted by Thursday. They begin boldly in January and negotiate by March. They desire transformation, but they refuse duration. That is why they remain familiar. You do not reinvent yourself by emotion. You reinvent yourself by method. Imagine dividing the next year into deliberate stages. The first quarter devoted to clarity, writing a definite chief aim so precise it eliminates confusion. The second devoted to conditioning, repeating that aim morning and night until faith replaces doubt. The third devoted to organized action, building habits that align with your new standard. The fourth devoted to persistence, protecting your momentum against temporary defeat. This is not dramatic, it is systematic. Picture an ordinary day in month 4. You rise early not because you feel like it, but because the man you are becoming demands it. You review your aim. You complete your most important task before distraction intrudes. You measure progress weekly. You adjust your plan, but never your purpose. That is how change compounds. Most men attempt to change behavior without changing identity. They say, "I will try harder." But trying is not deciding. When you declare, "I am the type of person who finishes what he begins," and you repeat it daily, your subconscious begins to reorganize your actions to match that sentence. Identity governs outcome. The 12-month method is built upon 4 laws: definiteness, autosuggestion, organized planning, and persistence. Remove one, and the structure weakens. Commit to all 4, and the structure strengthens until it becomes habit. Consider the cost of ignoring this year. Another cycle of repetition. Another 12 months reinforcing the same weaknesses. Another December explaining why change was difficult. Change is not difficult. Inconsistency is. What if you treated the next 365 days as a contract? A binding agreement between who you are and who you intend to become. No retreat, no negotiation with old habits, no allowance for drift. You would begin to feel different within weeks. Your speech would sharpen. Your posture would rise. Your associates would shift. Opportunities would appear, not because the world changed, but because your perception did. Reinvention is invisible at first. Then it becomes undeniable. By month 6, discipline feels natural. By month 9, momentum carries you. By month 12, the man who once hesitated has been replaced by one who decides quickly and acts confidently. This is not fantasy. It is law applied consistently. But understand this clearly. You cannot reinvent yourself while entertaining alternatives. If you keep one foot in the old identity, you dilute the new one. Decision must be complete. Write the aim. Speak it daily. Act in harmony with it. Persist beyond discouragement. If you do this for 1 year, you will not merely improve, you will become different. And when others ask how it happened, you will not point to luck or timing. You will point to method. 12 months. That is all it takes to alter your trajectory. 1 year of deliberate thought. 1 year of disciplined speech. 1 year of organized action. 1 year of unwavering persistence. The man who commits to that experiment cannot remain the same. Become different. Begin now. Reinvention does not begin in the marketplace. It does not begin in conversation. It begins in private, with ink and decision. Most men attempt to change themselves through effort alone. They promise to rise earlier. They promise to work harder. They promise to control their temper or increase their income. Yet these promises are not anchored in definition. And what is not defined cannot be directed. If you wish to save 10 years of wandering, you must begin where all permanent transformation begins, with a written decree that governs your next 12 months. The first quarter of this method is not dramatic. It is deliberate. It requires that you sit in silence and determine precisely who you intend to become within 1 year. Not vaguely improved, not slightly adjusted, but definitively altered in character, income, health, or influence. You must write a definite chief aim for the next 12 months, so clear that it leaves no room for interpretation. State the exact result you will achieve. State the exact date. State what you will render in return. The world does not reward wishers. It responds to definiteness backed by organized effort. Edwin C. Barnes did not approach Thomas Edison asking for employment. He approached with a written and burning decision that he would become a partner. That decision preceded opportunity. Likewise, your written decree must precede evidence. Limit yourself to one dominant transformation. Many men attempt to change 10 areas at once and strengthen none. Concentration multiplies force. Scatter weakens it. Decide what, if achieved in 12 months, would alter the direction of your life most dramatically. Write it in exact language. Then design a short statement of identity that matches it. If you intend to double your income, write, "I am the type of man who delivers service of such value that my income doubles by this date." If you intend to strengthen discipline, write, "I finish what I begin and act without delay." These are not slogans. They are commands to the subconscious mind. Read this written decree morning and night, without exception. The repetition begins shaping belief. Belief begins shaping conduct. Conduct produces result. This is law. Remove alternative identities. If you continue to describe yourself as inconsistent, unlucky, or uncertain, you sabotage the decree. The mind cannot obey two masters. Eliminate language that contradicts your written aim. Speak only in harmony with it. Design a weekly review ritual. At the end of each week, measure your progress in writing. Did your actions align with the new identity? Where did you drift? Correction must occur quickly. Drift, uncorrected, becomes habit, and habit repeated becomes destiny. In these first 3 months, visible change may be small. That is not failure. You are installing foundation. Clarity alone can save a decade. How many years have been lost to vague ambition? How many months dissolved because purpose was negotiable? When your aim is written in ink and read daily, negotiation weakens. You either obey it or betray it. That tension produces growth. Others may not yet notice change, but you will. Your speech will sharpen. You will hesitate less before action. You will decline invitations that do not serve your aim. This is the beginning of reinvention. It is quiet. It is structured. It is firm. And it can compress 10 wandering years into one directed season. The first quarter is authorship. You are writing the man you intend to become. Once written and repeated, the subconscious begins to accept the new image as fact. And when the mind accepts it as fact, behavior reorganizes itself to support it. Reinvention begins not with excitement, but with ink, repetition, and decision sustained daily. After the first 3 months have been devoted to writing your new decree and clarifying your definite chief aim, the next season must be devoted to strengthening belief until it becomes unquestioned. Many men write noble statements in January and abandon them by March because they misunderstand the nature of the subconscious mind. The subconscious does not respond to a single command. It responds to repetition backed by emotion. Therefore, the second quarter of this method is dedicated to conditioning. If you neglect this stage, you may work diligently yet remain internally divided. Division weakens action. Unity strengthens it. You must now treat your written aim as daily instruction. Read it aloud morning and night, not hurriedly, but deliberately. Visualize the end as already achieved. See yourself moving confidently in the identity you described. Feel gratitude in advance. This is not imagination for amusement. It is mental rehearsal. Henry Ford held the vision of a motor car for the masses long before engineers believed it possible. His mental insistence preceded mechanical evidence. Likewise, your internal insistence must precede visible proof. Guard your speech with vigilance. The words you repeat about yourself become commands. If discouragement appears, replace it instantly. Say firmly, temporary defeat does not alter my purpose. The law of cosmic habit force ensures that repeated thought hardens into habit. Habit solidifies into character. Character determines destiny. Therefore, repetition during these months is not optional. It is structural. Protect your associations carefully. Doubt spreads quickly among those who entertain it. If companions speak continually of limitation, your belief weakens. Seek those who respect ambition and disciplined effort. If none are present physically, seek them in books and recorded examples. Study the persistence of Lincoln before leadership crowned him. Study the endurance of Edison before recognition arrived. These men were conditioned by repetition of purpose long before applause. During this quarter, you may not see dramatic external change. That is expected. Roots deepen before branches rise. Continue reading your aim without exception. Continue visualizing completion. Continue rejecting negative self-speech. Let this affirmation anchor you. My faith grows stronger each day. Speak it when doubt attempts to return. Within 6 months of steady conditioning, you will notice internal calm replacing hesitation. Decisions will feel less forced. Discipline will require less struggle. Why? Because the subconscious now accepts the new identity as natural. Many men fail here because they grow impatient. They expect immediate transformation and retreat when evidence delays. That retreat dissolves momentum. If you persist in conditioning for the full quarter, belief will strengthen sufficiently to carry you through difficulty. This stage alone can undo years of self-doubt. Imagine how many opportunities were missed because belief faltered. Imagine how many years passed because hesitation delayed decision. 6 disciplined months of repetition can restore what 10 uncertain years eroded. By the end of the second quarter, you will not merely hope to change, you will expect it. And expectation governs action. Action governed by expectation produces result. This is the invisible stage of reinvention. It is quiet, persistent, and powerful. Once belief is anchored, the next movement, organized action, will no longer feel forced. It will feel inevitable. By the time you enter the third quarter of your 12-month campaign, something within you has begun to stabilize. The written decree is no longer foreign. The repetition has softened resistance. Faith has replaced a portion of doubt. Yet belief alone will not complete reinvention. Many men feel inspired internally and mistake that sensation for accomplishment. Inspiration without organized action is pleasant, but it does not alter circumstance. Therefore, months 7 through 9 must be devoted to deliberate construction. This is the season when the invisible identity becomes visible in habit. You must now design your daily schedule in strict alignment with your definite chief aim. Begin each morning by identifying one task that moves the aim forward measurably. Complete that task before distraction intrudes. If your aim concerns income, that task may involve securing new clients or improving service. If it concerns mastery, it may involve study and practice. If it concerns physical discipline, it may involve training without negotiation. The nature of the task matters less than its consistency. Consistency compounds. Disorder dissolves momentum. Many waste years working diligently on activities unrelated to their chief purpose. That scattered effort consumes time without multiplying result. Organized planning eliminates this waste. You must track measurable progress weekly. Write the numbers plainly. Did income rise? Did skill improve? Did discipline strengthen? Numbers do not flatter or deceive. They reveal. When results lag, adjust methods, but never alter the aim. This distinction preserves identity. During this quarter, practice the habit of rendering more service than you are paid for. This principle, though simple, has elevated countless men. The clerk who volunteers for responsibility becomes indispensable. The salesman who studies his territory doubles his earnings without changing location. The associate who solves problems before complaint rises naturally. Others will begin noticing difference in you. They may not understand the source. They will observe steadiness, promptness, clarity in speech. Your posture will reflect decision rather than uncertainty. This visible evidence strengthens belief further. Let this affirmation guide you. I act daily in harmony with my aim. Speak it before work begins. Eliminate time-wasting habits without apology. Idle conversation, excessive recreation, scattered attention, these drain force. Concentration multiplies it. Remember that 1 year of concentrated effort can compress 10 wandering years. Most men drift through a decade attempting change occasionally. You are now practicing it daily. Consider how many years were lost previously to inconsistency. How many opportunities dissolved because action was postponed. Organized action rescues those lost years by replacing hesitation with execution. Surround yourself with a small mastermind circle if possible. 2 or 3 individuals aligned with disciplined improvement. Mutual accountability strengthens persistence. Share goals openly. Report progress honestly. Correction within such a circle accelerates growth. By month 9, results should begin to appear externally. Income may increase. Skill may sharpen. Health may improve. Even if results are modest, the identity has shifted. You are no longer attempting change. You are practicing it. That difference is permanent. Many men experience visible change briefly and relax prematurely. Do not. This quarter cements habit. Habit repeated long enough becomes automatic. Automatic discipline removes internal struggle. Reinvention at this stage is no longer theory, it is measurable. Others will sense momentum in you. They may hesitate when speaking because they recognize firmness where uncertainty once lived. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. Organized action transforms belief into evidence. Evidence strengthens conviction. Conviction fuels persistence, and persistence carried into the final quarter completes the transformation. The third quarter proves that reinvention is not emotional excitement. It is daily execution aligned with written purpose. When you enter the final quarter of your 12-month reinvention, you will encounter the most decisive examination of all. Not because the method has failed, but because every permanent transformation is tested before it is secured. Temporary defeat will appear in some form. It may come as financial delay, criticism from others, fatigue, or unexpected complication. At this stage, many men relax or retreat. They assume that visible progress guarantees smooth passage. They forget that persistence is the final law. If you abandon your discipline in month 10, you destroy the compounded effort of the previous 9. Therefore, this final quarter is devoted not to novelty, but to protection. You must protect momentum. The story of the man who abandoned his gold mine 3 feet from the ore is not merely a tale of business error. It is a warning against quitting when success stands nearest. Most transformations collapse just before stabilization. You must expect resistance and greet it calmly. When discouragement appears, return immediately to your written aim. Read it aloud. Reaffirm your identity. Do not negotiate with old habits. Old habits will whisper that you have done enough, that slight retreat will not matter. But retreat hardens quickly into reversal. Let this affirmation anchor your resolve. I persist until success is mine. Speak it with firmness whenever doubt attempts entry. Study the endurance of Abraham Lincoln before he reached national leadership. Defeat followed defeat, yet purpose remained unchanged. He did not measure progress by applause. He measured it by alignment with principle. You must do the same. During this quarter, review weekly progress more carefully than ever. If results decline, increase discipline rather than reduce expectation. Guard enthusiasm deliberately. Enthusiasm does not arise by chance. It is cultivated by reminding yourself why the aim was chosen. Reflect on how far you have come in 12 months. Recall the hesitation that once defined you. Compare it with your present steadiness. This reflection strengthens determination. Others may now notice your transformation more clearly. They may comment on your decisiveness or consistency. Accept such recognition without complacency. Complacency is subtle retreat. Remember that this quarter cements identity permanently. If you endure these final months without surrender, the new habits become natural. What once required effort now requires less strain. Discipline feels ordinary rather than exceptional. That is the sign of reinvention completed. Consider how many years were previously lost because effort collapsed near completion. How many ambitions dissolved in the final stage due to fatigue or fear. Persistence during this quarter rescues not only this year, but perhaps 20 years that might otherwise have been spent repeating unfinished attempts. By month 12,